Hey everyone and welcome. Today we're tackling a Leetcode medium problem called number of laser beams in a bank. It sounds a bit complicated, but once you spot the key insight, it becomes surprisingly straightforward. We'll break it down step by step. Okay, so the problem gives us a grid of zeros and ones, representing the floor plan of a bank. A 1 is a security device, and a 0 is just empty space. Our job is to count the total number of laser beams. Now there are two specific rules for a laser beam to exist. First, the two devices have to be on different rows. Easy enough. But the second rule is the important one. For any two rows we're considering, all the rows that are physically between them must be completely empty. No devices allowed. This no devices in between rule is actually a huge clue. It tells us that we don't need to worry about connecting a device on row 1 to a device on row 5 if, say, row 3 also has a device. The connection would be blocked. This means we only need to consider connections between a row with devices and the very next row that also has devices, skipping any empty ones in the middle. Let's walk through the example from the problem description. Imagine the first row with devices has 3 of them. The next row with devices is a couple of floors down, and it has 2 devices. Every device on the first floor will connect to every device on the second. So that's 3 times 2, which gives us 6 beams. Now we move our focus. We're at the row with 2 devices. We look for the next row that has any, and we find one with just a single device. So we add 2 times 1, or 2 more beams. Finally, we add our totals together. 6 beams from the first connection, plus 2 from the second, gives us a grand total of 8 beams. That's the logic we need to code. Just a quick heads up. We'll be walking through the solution using Python, but don't worry if that's not your main language. I'll be showing the full code for other popular languages like Java, C++, and JavaScript towards the end of the video. Our approach is going to be a simple greedy one-pass scan. We'll go through the bank row by row. All we need to do is keep one number in our memory, the number of devices we saw in the last row that wasn't empty. When we find a new row that has devices, we use our remembered number to calculate the beams, and then we update our memory to the new count. Okay, we've talked about the big picture and the logic. Now let's see what this looks like as actual code. I'll put the full solution up on the screen first. And don't worry, after that, we'll walk through the most important sections together. Alright, here's the full Python code. It's pretty concise, right? It perfectly follows the logic we just discussed. Let's break it down piece by piece. First, we set up 2 variables. 1, we can call previous device count, which will remember how many devices were in the last relevant row. We started at 0 because we haven't seen any rows yet. The other, total beams, is our final answer, which also naturally starts at 0. Next, we start a loop to go through each row in the bank. Inside the loop, our first step is to count the number of devices in the current row. Python's string count method makes this super easy. We'll store this in a variable like current device count. Here's the heart of the algorithm. We check if the current device count is greater than 0. If it is, that means we found a row with lasers. So we calculate the number of new beams by multiplying our previous device count with the current device count, and we add that to our total beams. Then, and this is key, we update our previous device count to be the current one. This prepares us for the next time we find a row with devices. So what happens in some edge cases? Let's say there are no devices at all, or devices are only on a single row. Well, our previous device count starts at 0. If we never find a second row with devices, the multiplication will always be with 0. So the total number of beams will correctly remain 0. The logic holds up perfectly. Let's talk about performance. For time complexity, we have to look at every single cell in the grid to count the ones. So if the grid has m rows and n columns, the complexity is big O of m times n. For space, it's fantastic. We only use a couple of variables to store our counts, regardless of how big the bank is. That means our space complexity is big O if 1, or constant space. Alright, that covers the main solution in Python. As promised, for those of you who code in other languages, I'm about to show the full solutions for Java, C++, and JavaScript. I won't be breaking these down, so just pause the video on your language of choice to check it out. Alright, as promised, here is the full solution in Java. You can pause the video here to take a closer look at the implementation. Notice the logic is exactly the same, just with a nested loop to count the characters. Next up, here is the C++ version of the solution. Again, feel free to pause and review the code. It's very similar in structure to the Java solution. And finally, here is the solution in JavaScript. Hopefully seeing it in a few different languages helps solidify the concepts. The core idea remains the same across all of them. So let's wrap it up. The big takeaway here is to always look for problem constraints that can simplify your logic. That no devices in between rule was the key that turned a potentially complex problem into a simple, single pass. All we had to do was keep track of the last row we saw with devices, and the solution became clear. Alright, before we finish up, I want to quickly show you a personal project I built to solve a problem that always drove me crazy. It's an app called My Daily To-Do. My biggest frustration with every other to-do app was retyping the same things every single day. Go to the gym, review code, work on the daily Leetcode problem. You know the drill. So I built my app around one simple but powerful idea, separating your routine tasks from your one-off tasks. Routine tasks, marked with the little refresh icon, automatically reset for the next day. One-off tasks, like ship new feature, get the little puff of smoke icon, and they disappear for good once you're done. This small change turns a dumb checklist into a smart scheduler. If that sounds useful, you can try it right now on the web. The link is in the description. And one more thing I want to make super clear. Right now, as a thank you for being an early supporter, the app is 100% free. There are no ads and no subscriptions whatsoever. This means you get access to everything, including really powerful features like presets, which let you save entire task lists and load them with a single tap. Now, down the road, creating new presets will likely become part of a premium plan to help support the channel. But, and this is the important part, any presets you create now, while it's all free, are yours to keep and use forever. So it's the perfect time to check it out on the web, play with all the features, and build out your perfect setup at no cost. If you enjoyed this problem and want to keep practicing, the learning doesn't have to stop here. I've organized all my video solutions into handy playlists. Whether you're looking to grind through more Leetcode easy, medium, or hard problems, or you want to master a specific topic like sliding window or dynamic programming, I've got a playlist for you. It's the perfect way to focus your study sessions. Go to the playlist tab and find a playlist that fits your goals. Also, if you're looking for even more Leetcode problems beyond the daily challenge, I've started a second channel called Leetcode Unlocked. It's where I'll be posting solutions to a ton of other problems, so if you're serious about your interview prep, be sure to check it out. The link is in the description below. Hope this Leetcode solution breakdown made sense. If it helped, give that like button a click, maybe subscribe for more, or drop a comment if you have questions. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you know straight away when I upload a video, because I upload videos daily. If you want to support the channel, a few people have asked how I plan my solutions. I'm a big fan of sketching out the logic and data structures on a tablet before I code. It really helps. I've put affiliate links in the description to the tablet I use and a few other good options. Using those links doesn't cost you anything extra but really helps me out. Or, if you're feeling generous, there's always the Boba Fund. Keep coding and I'll catch you in the next one.